This is Jim Reed, and I've been asked to make a video on the NASA V2 upgrade. The first thing that you have to do that is very important is you have to calibrate your ESCs. So the way we do that is you can do that in the bird, but I've had everything apart, so I came up with this little thing to do it right here in the bench. Because all these parts came out of my parts bin, and I just put them together so we can do this. I'm going to go ahead and build a Tali out of my out of some of the parts that I have. Anyway, first thing that you do, it's very important, is you make sure your throttle, before you plug in your battery, you have this plugged into the throttle of the receiver, this plugged in, your signal plug is plugged in 100%. Turn your throttle on, make sure it's 100%. Plug it in, hear the beep, down, second beep. You've just calibrated this ESC. You just told this ESC where the highest point of the throttle is and where the lowest part of the throttle is. Each one has to be the same. So we have to calibrate these ESCs all the same. This one's calibrated. So every single one of these has to go through this process. If you don't calibrate your ESCs with the NASA, it will not work properly. It will fly erratically. So anyway, plug it in, wait for the beep, down, beep, beep, beep. Now, this ESC is programmed for the throttle response. It knows where the high throttle is and the low throttle is. And that's stored in the memory chip, the programmable chip of the Wakira ESC. So we have to go through all of them. I'll do one more. I'm not going to make a video of doing all these. Then I'll tell you a little bit about the ESC. Again, we're using a Devo RX 1202 receiver and just an old Phantom 1 power management board. And make sure and we're using our trusty Devo 12R or E, whatever it's called, and we're going to program our stick response. We need to tell the ESC where the highest point of the throttle is and where the lowest point of the throttle is. So you start it off at 100%. Plug it in, beep beep, down, beep beep beep. We have just verified our throttle response, and it has been stored into the memory chip of our ESC. Okay, what you don't want to do is at 100% wait for the second beep. Then you won't calibrate it. It won't be calibrated. You cannot wait for the second beep. You got to do it on the first beep. Let's do one more. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. We plug this in. Get up to our power. Ah, this thing is slippery. What the heck? Okay, there we go. Now, 100%, and I'll show you. When you plug it in, it beeps. If you wait too long, second beep will show up. Then it won't be calibrated. You have to start all over again. 100% with the throttle. Plug it in. First beep, down. That has now stored the information into the memory chip of the ESC, and the throttle throw is now programmed. You have to do every single one of them this way. Remember, never wait for the second beep. Anyway, you have to program these in that fashion in order for them to work. A little bit about the ESC. This here is a Phantom 1 DJI ESC. Funny thing I discovered, is that the Tali H500 ESC and the Phantom 1 ESC is exactly the same size. Even the hole locations are the same. And I tried it, and it does work in the Tali H500. If you wanted to, you can buy 6 of these, 4 red ones, 4 green ones and 2 red ones, and use these, and you won't have to calibrate them. But they're expensive, and then you won't have top lights. So that's another option if you want to spend 40 bucks a piece for them, or 50 bucks a piece for them, or you can just go ahead and do what I'm doing and calibrate your ESCs. And it's a great way to verify that your throttle works, and your ESC and your motor and everything is good. You have to do this, or your aircraft will fly erratically, because it doesn't have, each one has to know where the 0 throttle is and the 100% throttle is for it to fly correctly. Anyway, this is the first video. Oh, let me go a little bit about the PMUs. Now, this is the V1 power management unit, and this one here is designed so you can hook up your CAN bus, which you can hook up a Bluetooth and a ISOD, or whatever they call it, the little mini ISOD, so you can have telemetry and all that kind of stuff. And you have to kind of figure out where you're going to put everything. But this is for the V2. This here is for the naza M Lite, and it just is direct. It doesn't have any extra ports where you can plug anything in. And if you're not going to use telemetry and Bluetooth and all that kind of stuff, then you can use this with the V2. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but there's a hack that I use, that everybody uses, where you can update the M Lite to the V2, and it works superbly, and without any problems. So that's another option. And like I said, it's very simple. The naza V2 is simple installation. You have plenty of room. Now you're going to have to deal with wires, and I'll show you that, because you have to put the GPS puck on top of the bird. You can't mount it inside because it is more sensitive than the Walkera one. The Walkera one works great because it's been built to I guess be compatible with the aircraft and bolt it to the top inside, but not so much with this. So anyway, this is what you got to do. You have to calibrate your ESCs before you can get the naza M2. The naza. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and build the aircraft out of our spare parts and see how it comes out. We're going to test fly it, and we'll go through the whole thing. So this way we have a step-by-step instructions on how to upgrade your Tali H500 to the naza and not have any problems, all the little tricks and all the things that you have to do to make it work. So anyway, this is the first video. Stay tuned. In the next couple days, I'm going to put this together, and then we'll start assembling everything and getting everything dialed in. Okay, well, thank you for watching.